Welcome to this session of Advanced Troubleshooting of the Corba probes with me, Jim Hutchinson. For this session, the generic 3GPP probe was used with Netcool Omnibus 7.4 on Solaris. The generic 3GPP probe can connect to the EMS using the entry point IRP or by using the naming service. The probe is a non-native Java probe and runs as two processes. One for communicating with the EMS and the other for sending events to the object server. The generic 3GPP probe receives events from the alarm and notification IRPs. The generic TMF814 probe uses the same technology but can only connect to the naming service. The generic TMF814 probe receives events from the EMS session factory. The probe requires access to the hosts and ports where the EMS services are running. These might be a single host and two or more ports. Additionally, the EMS needs access to the probe's defined ORB local host and ORB local port. It is this port that is used to receive active events following synchronization. Setting the inactivity property allows the probe to disconnect from the EMS after a given number of seconds since the last alarm was received. If the probe connects to the naming service and logs nothing relating to the ERPs or session factory, the most probable cause is that the naming service is not working for the given port. Check the naming service is working and test this on the probe server using the dump-ns tool. The probe will log error connecting to EMS IRP when the release 3GPP property is incorrect. In the ORB debug log, the probe shows it connected to the naming service but was unable to connect to the IRPs. Sometimes the probe or EMS does not shut down the subscription, leaving the ORB local port active even when the probe is restarted. To resolve this, you must stop the probe and ensure the ORB local port is no longer in use. If it is, ask the EMS administrator to clear the old subscription before attempting to start the probe again. Use netstat to check the ORB local port is shut down before using snoop or TCP dump to check for port activity on the ORB local port. If data is seen being written to the ORB local port, it means that the subscription is still active on the EMS. When the probe behaves normally, both the probe's log and the ORB debug log show that the ORB local port is allocated, with the ORB debug log showing communication exchanges. If the ORB local port is already in use, the probe log shows the same message as normal, but the ORB debug log shows none of the communication exchanges. Ensure there are active events in the EMS before concluding the problem is related to the subscription, as the EMS may not be sending any events. You can use snoop or TCP dump to check the Ethernet traffic. Once loaded into Wireshark, it is possible to see some of the communication text, for example the naming service text. Be careful though, as the PCAP data can show the same type of data when the subscription is active but not connected to the probe. In this case, the ORB local port was set to a port that had a listener already running. By examining the ORB local port traffic alone, it is possible to tell the difference, since the probe's 3GPP TCP traffic will be sent as many packets. In this file, 314 packets are displayed, whilst for the same data being sent to a TCP listener, there are only 40 packets displayed, as the open socket is unable to communicate correctly with the EMS.